showcased. So this is the big debate right now. After the last game, after the NFL Films tape came out in which you're mic'd, and you make the play, you celebrate for a moment, you run up to Crabtree, and you're like, heck of a game, heck of a game. And the big debate in my office and every office is, are you taunting him in that moment? Is that a good faith, like, hey, hell of a game? Or do you realize you're like putting it in his face?
I mean, so the game's going to end in 22 seconds. Is it taunting in? You know what I mean? It's one of those things where the game was going to be over in 22 seconds. You know, if the guys walks to the locker room, I don't get a chance to say good game. So I guess it's as good natured as you can do in a football game. You know, I was going to give the guy a handshake before, you know, his season's over, their season's over. He's heading to the locker room. It was a great game. It was great. So
in that moment when you're running over him, you're thinking in your head, like, I want to just give him a quick pound and be like, hey.
And be like, hey, man, that was great. You battled. We battled today. Great job. And
then you were surprised when he gave you.
Yeah, I was surprised because I thought, I mean, if he didn't want to shake, all he had to do was just wave it off, and I would have turned around and went and celebrated with my teammates. And, you know, so I was a little surprised by the push.
Is that what set you off?
No. I mean, what set me off was a lot of other factors, I guess.
Like,
I mean, you know, it's a competitive game. It's passion. Passion set me off. You know, making a big play set me off. Just being in the moment.
Have you watched that? Have you watched the clip of yourself in the Aaron Andrews?
I've seen it.
When you look at it, what's your reaction when you watch it or when you see it?
I mean, it looks fine to me. I mean, it really does. I don't think too much of it. You know, I don't take too much of it. I mean, it's after a game. Big play made, you're gonna get a big reaction.
I thought it was really interesting the other day when you're talking about thugs, and one of the things you said, aside from the first part of the comment, was like, I know thugs, and if you talk to thugs, I'm the furthest thing from a thug. I was curious, like, what do you mean by that? What's your definition of it?
Well, I mean, the dictionary's definition, Webster's definition of it is a criminal, is a criminal, and I'm far from a criminal. You can check my record; it's pretty clean, and I think people confuse it, you know, with the way they use it. And they're a little confused, but I think people are trying to use it, like I said before, as a substitute for the N-word. It's an accepted way to say it. People aren't using it like I'm a criminal, because obviously I didn't do anything criminal in that sphere. I didn't do anything criminal. I didn't break any laws, break any rules. And they said I'm classless and all this, that, and the other. But the way they were using the word took it out of context. They took it out of its true definition, true meaning.
One of the things that's happened in response to all that is people then are getting a bio of you. I mean, you know, most NFL players are kind of anonymous, right? I mean, aside from quarterbacks that we see on endorsement deals, is people behind helmets making plays, right?
Exactly.
And most Americans didn't know who Richard Sherman was 2 weeks ago, frankly. I mean, the people Seattle did, and people that had you on their, you know, on their fantasy team did, because everyone stopped throwing to you.
Yeah.
But like, what do you want people to, if people have the chance to get the second bite at the apple of who Richard Sherman is, like, what's the bio you want them to know?
Well, I want them to know about, you know, the journey that I took from Compton, you know, California, Watts, California, to Stanford, the trials and tribulations, the things I do off the field to help the community, to help kids, to try to get kids to understand that furthering your education is a path to accomplishing goals, to being everything you can be, being as powerful as a person as you can be, to really reaching the potential and understanding that you're not boxed in by the neighborhood you're brought up in, by the circumstances that you're raised in, and really trying to be an inspiration for kids. And it's something I felt like I needed as a young kid, and I would love to have to just see somebody who came from humble beginnings, came from where I came from, to make it to where they are now. I would have loved to hear that story and see that, and I'm sure it would have inspired me as a little kid. So I'm trying to do as much as I can to inspire them. Just kids seeing that people from your neighborhood are going to the next level. They're taking the next step, and then they're getting their degrees. So it's possible. It's totally plausible for you to think, oh man, I can go to Dominguez High School, then graduate from there, go on to college, graduate from there, and potentially make it to the NFL, or potentially take a different career path.
If you weren't, you were just talking about checking your Scott trade and your Tesla stock. If you were not a corner, if all this ended tomorrow for some reason or another, what would you want to be doing out there?
Well, I think I'd still want to be involved in football. I think I'd want to be coaching or teaching, because I think I have too much knowledge of the game, and it's been such a blessing to be able to show your talents and show your skills. But I think I have more to give to the kids that are playing now, you know, showing them fundamentals, helping them understand the game for what it really is, and also getting into the financial sphere a little bit.
one of the things I've noticed in people talking about you is that one side of it is people calling you a thug, and then people run in and they say, oh, but he's got a Stanford degree. And it feels like sometimes the subtext is as like, he's one of the good ones. Like, don't worry, he's got a Stanford degree. Like, how do you respond to that, the way that degree and the fact that you were a good student is being marshaled in the way people talk about it?
Well, I think that's, you know, that's showing some of the closed-mindedness of society and how they want to label people. They want to, you know, feel like there's black and white, that it's either this category or this category. There's no middle ground. And I think I encompass just about every part of both. You know, I was totally raised in Compton. I totally was there. You know, I might not fit in the best, but I was there. That's where I'm from. And I also went to Stanford and got my education, succeeded in that way. And I'm also in the NFL and part of that fraternity. And it's so many things that go into a person that you know, stop trying to label people, is what I can say. I mean, I guess the best label for myself, I'm a pragmatist. You know, I'm a guy who believes that my reality is the reality of the world, and I do my best to make it that way.
Barack Obama calls himself a pragmatist, too.
Yeah.
Someone who, I think, lived in a lot of different worlds as well.
Yes, he did.
When you showed up that first day at Stanford, were you like, where the hell am I? Or were you like, this is, I like it?
Combination of both. Combination of both. Because where I'm from, there isn't a lot of culture, there isn't a lot of diversity in Compton. You know, you have your Hispanics, you have some Polynesians, and you have blacks. And that's really all the mix in the city. And then you get to Stanford, and you have different kind of Asians. You have South Africans, East Africans. You have European. You have, you know, Canadians. You have so many different nations, so many different cultures, so many different people coming together in one spot that I had to, you know, I was kind of shocked at it. You know, shocked at the way they're talking, the conversations, the dialogue, the debates that are going on, the intelligence. You know, the intelligence. You can actually be yourself. You can actually go there and read in the library and not be bothered. So it was kind of a culture shock. A kid from Compton who hadn't seen too much outside the city, to tell you the truth.
More of my interview with Richard Sherman up next. Stick around.